Hey everyone, welcome back. It's Lucid, and we've got another turn here in our great divine comedy, Your Dreams, My Memes. And let's see what happens. It's turn. Is it 5? It's 6. Turn 6. Message from Calum. Expansion's going okay so far, but I'm really starved for resources in my cap. Usually I'd recruit 2 Sassatars, but that would mean I can only recruit 4. That would mean I can recruit 4 less Spirehorn Warriors, so I'm sticking with the priests at the cost of having a bit worse research. I'm happy to see TNN didn't expand or failed his second turn. Pangea looks quite healthy. Seeing the name you gave him, I assume he has a similar build to what we saw in the Arena series. I'll probably ask him for a nap. Yeah. From Hinam, okay, no Diplo so far. I have been quiet. Last turn I saw Micklin for the first time with a shaman who was ready to do a site search. So I wasted a possible expansion to reinforce him in case Micklin decided to be aggressive early. They didn't. Maybe I should have talked to Micklin, but I'm shy and don't know the players yet. So any response probably would have altered my action. Wouldn't have altered my action. Hoping this turn is doable. Boringly going for Conjuration 3 Construction 2, just like in the Nation Guide. I am more used to playing in multiplayer games that have a maximum games played requirement than ones that have a minimum. Ooh, okay, so that's like a new player game. So I might not be long for this world, but it won't be because I spend the early turns just chugging out mages, which is my tendency. Cool. Mixing up his playstyle. All right, from Ubar. Let's pretend it's turn 2, and I'm going to start expanding now. Thanks. And indeed, we do see Ubar finally rolling out. And a much longer, more lengthy message from Grippa. I have also done something I've never done before, and that was actually look at my titles and do some math and shit. Here's what I know. Dom String 3, no immobiles for me. Probably a Titan, or maybe a measly human. Please be a Titan. Titles say my God's Path are at maximum S7. Oh, at minimum, sorry. At minimum, S7 N4 X6, something like 6. Something is 6. Like another path, or maybe it's a size or something. My spite is the blood one, so probably blood aid. God name, you said that my pretender name was a hint, and that means death. So either the pretender is undead or has high death paths too, maybe death 6. Based on this, I'm thinking I have Fate Weaving and Blood Vengeance as my bless. Bing, correct. Other than that, I have legitimately no clue because there are just too many points left with the pretender calculator thanks to my perfect scales. Anyway, back to expanding. Back to expanding. You haven't started expanding. I'll say back to expanding. Start expanding. Okay. That's actually really close. So Grippa's build is, I think it's a human. I think that was the only chassis we could really afford it on. But it is region, so nature 7, blood 8, I think, if that's what it is, for blood vengeance. Death 7 for reanimator. And what was the last thing? Oh, yeah, Astral 7 for Fate Weaving. So it's a very cool bless. I mean, by very cool, I mean probably not that good. But it is what he has. Okay, here we go, boys. Ubar attacking Independence with a legit army. This is not an expansion. This is fuck you, I'm bringing an entire army. Largely mercs. The birds have landed. The mercs have closed. He's got a bunch of gnomes coming up to slap. These are really nice to Gift of Reason or something, but they cost a fuck ton of upkeep. 22 gold per unit. That's like a mage. Like, compared that to like a little troop. 4 gold per year. So these actually cost a lot of upkeep. If you're not going to be able to Gift of Reason them pretty soon, you usually want to get them killed off. They do have a slap, which will shrink you permanently, which is kind of hilarious if you can get them in range of a pretender. We've got a Gula here, or Ghoul, excuse me, who has switched forms. The mercs have routed, but I don't think they're going to make it off before these guys What happened to the Jin? Oh, the Jin are jumping in. Okay, they got him. Before the Mercs got off. In total, he lost 3 gnomes, which is a plus, and 8 spearmen. All right. And that is a single expansion. We can see he's getting Jin behind here, which I think is the right call. He's going to need, obviously, to get some of his cap circle cleared before he can start slamming Jin out. But yeah. Agrippa is off to the races. Coming down to Micklin, his strategy appears to be to continue reinforcing his starting army. He's going to have so many hit points in this starting army that nobody can do anything. I mean, you can't kill these guys. They have too many hit points. 33 and then Undying? Forget about it. I mean, they can't even... Has anybody switched forms? This is what I want to know. No, nobody has. Forget about it. What a monster. What madman designed this bless? And what is this player doing? He could split this up. He could take 2 provinces. But he's like, fuck it. We're combining. We're doom stacking. Sadly, no more expansion to show you. Here we have Hinnom rolling out with the fun wagons. Or fun wagon, because his others died. This is looking like it might be a better engagement, because the infantry are closing in at the same time the fun wagon's making contact. That's still getting a little bit surrounded. Yeah, this is going to be pretty clean. He lost the Horites, but... Yeah, in total, he just lost the Horites. And that will bring us farther south, where Hinnom has double expanded. And it looks like with success. He's got these Avites, these light infantry. They've got very good... It's kind of odd he had some throw javelins and not others. I would tend to do all or none. But yeah, I don't think he has many losses. Only loses 1. These Avite light infantry, I think, are excellent. They're really a good value, especially for expansion. Against troops, I feel like you can make the case, like more elite stuff. You can make the case for different, different things. But this is basically, Hinnom has been sentenced to play Scales. And he gets his ethereal awe surprise if he makes it to turn 36. Okay. Oh, and then we've already seen this. This was Ubar. Coming over to the birds. A few little birds here. This bird expansion has been great. He's been so good at sniping commanders. It's ridiculous. Has he expanded again? Did he bump Caleb? Oh, no. Okay. So he's got a few marks. These are Jade Amazons. This is great for Caleb. Caleb doesn't really get nature access, and nature water is a great cross path. So this is really great for him to pick up. They should have been routed now, and it's just a matter of picking off the remaining. So there we go. Only loses two permanent dudes. The rest were mercs. So Caleb looking pretty good. No sign yet of the Sacred Archers. I just have to cross my fingers and pray. Tir na Nog with exceptionally manly elves. I'm a little upset. Okay, no, it makes sense. I was going to say, I was a little upset he's not using the javelins, because that's part of this build. I almost want to, like, send him a note. Hopefully he figures it out. If he doesn't figure it out by, like, turn 12... Because the thing is, when it's mixed composition, you kind of just want him to engage with the other dudes. But when he has only those guys, I do think he probably wants to do the javelins. I probably will send him a note at turn 12 if he doesn't do it, just so he considers it. Because that's part of the build, is pegging dudes to trees with javelins. Okay, coming down. Uh-oh, Kirby 1, Kerberty 1 has a small group of dudes here. Uh-oh. They're Sabbath slating up. They're casting Blood Rain and Agony. So these guys are at 9 morale now because they've got the Blood Rain. Poison Clouds coming out will be very effective if they hit. Oh, and then a big fucking Agony. Yeah, these Bloodhenge Druids do not fuck around. Oh no, and they've routed. The Agonies and the Blood Rain, holy shit. And they run straight into the Dark Vines. Oh, what a fucking disaster. What an unmitigated fucking disaster. These mages were ridiculous. We're gonna watch this again. They Sabbathed up, too, which is not something you're exactly expecting to see. It's 5 mages. Sabbath Master, Sabbath Slave, so 3 slaves and 2 masters. Three slaves and 2 masters. So that means they've got nature gems too. Oh man. And then they Sabbath slave afterwards? It's a little strange. On that Agony. Oh my god, those mages. Bloodhenge Druids are scary. This is why people are scared of these whenever they see woodsmen, because they're worried there's going to be Bloodhenge Druids there. If there's no Bloodhenge Druids, it's actually a really easy province. But when they're here, these things happen. Jesus Christ, poor Kirby. But Kirby went for a triple expand this turn. Here he's got Big Bird. Some skeletons break the lance charges. Big Bird jumps in. And he is deleting dudes. What is his hit point up to? Hit points up to. Okay, he's doing attack too, which I greatly prefer, because that's going to mean he's not getting rid of corpses. And then another expansion down here. I'm not sure about this. Is he going to lose this commander? Oh no. That's actually a lot of Hell Herdings. It was a little bit of a weird formation in how they were moving around the battle. They were kind of all split up, but it worked out. No losses. I mean, it was a lot of Hell Herdings, but cool. He's got a Cavern of Ancient Mushrooms down here too, which would be super sick for him to get. I can't remember if Trogs are size 3 or 4. I think they're size 3. So I think he should be able to wallop the shit out of Trogs, because he has perfect dark vision, so he can fight in a cave really well. I mean, he can probably kill these guys too. Barbs are going to kind of get wrecked by high defense and awe and fear. Kirby's looking really good, and he's going to have the bird thing. The only question is we're not totally sure how his build's going to do against other things, since he doesn't have important stuff like resistances. But we'll see. And that brings us back to Calum, who we've already seen. Pangea with the race car build going vroom. God, they just kill everything so fast. Oh my god, and they teleport back. Throwing the javelins, and then... That's so funny. They are so goddamn fast. They are so fast. Imagine like an entire line of them. This build is so fast, you can't cast spells before they hit you in the back line. Oh no. So this was well scripted. I think this was just unfortunate. Yeah, because they were on attack closest, which is what you want to do against barbs. They just got flanked. That sucks. Hopefully, he's got a sage here. Which, I don't know how he got that. Does he have a library somewhere? I'm not sure, but hopefully the sage can at least move some of these white centaur back to the cap. I only wish the best for my race car centaur, but we'll see what happens. Coming south, Tianqi. Attacking in the Cold Hills. Very nice. And attacking south with their main army, they're getting so much mileage out of this. But, I mean, these are super easy indies. The Hoburg militia are not very strong. Tianqi looking mighty fine. Mighty fine. And Tianqi's Bless will wake up on turn 12, so they don't have to go terribly long. It's not like some of these other builds that have their surprise at turn 36. Baratos doing cool ethereal fire shield things. Very nice. And Ohm. Did Ohm not expand? Ohm, where you at, bro? Appears Ohm did not expand. Oh, he's got this lava lake here. That would be really nice for him to get. Abyssia. Right now they just have larger and more hit points. But if they can make it to turn 36, they're getting some regen. And they ruined these barbs pretty good. I think they lost one, though. Lanka with the please stop hitting yourself bless. Okay, I've got a question for you guys. Put this in the comments. Which of these builds do you think is the most memey of all the builds we've seen? Which do you think is the greatest of the memes? Y'all type that in while I'm busy pulling up the next turn. Okay, I've got the next turn. Hope you've typed that in. We get a message from Kalem. I'm sending everything to 53 since I expect a bump with Tirnanog. I hope it's worth it. Message from Tirnog. Hey there, Eye in the Sky. Hell Scales Kalem is the last thing I was hoping to see, especially after the Atavi incident, which slowed down my expansion. Yeah, he lost, shamefully lost to monkeys. Spicy game is spicy. Fingers crossed we can be civil. Okay, a message from Helheim. Lol, freaking Bloodhinge druids. Yep, gotcha. Yeah, I'm rooting for Kirby, though. Kirby's maybe the he's probably one of the more experienced people in this game. I don't want to say he's the most experienced, but Kirby can handle some losses. Like, not like losing the game, but like losing a battle or two in expansion is not going to set him back too much. With that, let's go to Kalem and see what happens. Tirnanog and Kalem. Okay. We have a battle here. So first, Kalem fights the Independents. And oh my god, that is a lot of troops for turn 8. Holy shit. Or 7? I think it's turn 7. So he crushes this Heavy Cav province first. Oh my god. And then Tirnanog, not exactly kitted up for birds. That being said, these guys have way better stats than birds. If he was clustered up in a square, it would be way harder for the birds. Like, if they just kill the commander here, it's over. The commander's going to be hard to kill, though. And it looks like it's over, but here there's actually, like, these Tuatha Warrior are going to kind of fuck these guys up. And these guys are busy messing with the commander. It's better to, like, have killed the commander See, these guys are mopping these dudes up. There's some steroids being used. Look at these fuckers. 19 attack, 31 damage. I mean, they're deleting a bird every turn. But if they can get this guy, who they might not be able to, I mean, that's a lot of defense. All right, the mercs are closing in. And that guy got isolated and picked off. Okay, they got, a 24 damage hit to the commander here. And now they're going to run. And they're going to be spooky as fuck even on the retreat. They're going to chop up some birds. Yeah, I mean, look. Birds can get in front of them. You can't stop these guys. I think these guys are going to escape. I think... my money is that they chop their way through them. Oh, maybe not. Okay, this guy... Come on, buddy. No, okay. Victory for Calum at what cost? He kills a ton of shit. Including, I believe, the Prophet. I think this Furbolg champion was the Prophet. Losing 31... These are 10 gold pops. This is 300 gold he lost. To kill, 40 times 6, 240 gold. Yeah, probably at least triple the gold from Tirnanog. And it's a very valuable province. I'm going to go ahead and rank this, even though it was a bit of a Pyrrhic victory. It was a lose-lose in a way. I'm going to go ahead and rate this as a major win for Calum, because this province was really important to get, and this is a very high population province for early age, so Calum's going to be super stoked to have it. Did Tirnanog have any other... Okay, there's a silver lining for Tirnanog. He at least had another expansion party succeed. Okay, now this I wanted to see javelins. I'm going to send him a note on the current turn. I'm not about giving these guys strategy, telling them what to do. I'm just going to mention you might want to think about the interaction between strength, range, javelins. Just so that he can see it. I'm not saying he needs to do it. I'll put that in the note. Don't feel like this is an instruction. But I do want to see it. And this is one of the times to see it is during expansion. That's the fine line we're going to toe. Because I don't want to be helping these players. I want to be a neutral casting party. But we're gonna very, very ever so slightly cheat, and I just want to tell them there's an interaction. So that he can do it if he wants to. Because this is exactly the kind of party where I'd like to see it. In honesty, it's probably not going to make him expand better, but I've never seen it. That's why I built the meme so that they could test this shit for me. I could see if it's cool or not. Now I want to show you guys. All right. Helheim, I think we've discussed... Wait, what was this? Oh, no, we haven't. That was last turn. All right, Helheim bounces here. The fuck? Animate skeleton. Maybe nice for eating the lance charges. All right, Kirby, my bro. You need skeletal body. It's alteration 1. I know I didn't give you any magic skills, so you actually have to research it, but come on. You can manage alteration 1, right? So the big bird's deleting stuff, but he's also about to die. Okay, he pieces out, which is probably wise. Yeah, he just needed skeletal body, and I don't know if Big Bird would have killed him alone, but Big Bird is with skeletal body. Big Bird can just jump in the middle and actually do tanking while your guys kill stuff. And then he hits the Barb province. We saw these guys last time. I was saying they could go for the barbs, but they could also probably go in the cave. Yeah, normally barbs are scary. Flawless victory here. Awe plus defense plus fear, very effective. And he's got to decide where he goes. He could hit the Trogs. I think he can take them. He could come over here and hit this. Either way, I think it's a pretty good move. Where'd Big Bird go? Don't let your dreams be dreams. I guess that's maybe that's the prophet of Helheim. Okay. Excellent. Kalen, we've already looked at. Did they expand again? Who's this? Oh, this is Pangea. Ooh, man, Pangea's had a bit of a rough few turns. On one hand, it looks like they've expanded well. On the other hand, they've lost a fair number of expansion parties. Honestly, this is not even an issue with this build. Pangea, it is very easy to lose expansion parties with White Centaur. One of the things you can do with White Centaur is because they go berserk, you don't have to be quite as worried about putting them in a single blob. So you can space them out a bit because you really, I mean, these guys are super easy to get killed. They don't have any armor. So if you space them out a bit, you can block some of the flanking things that are going to happen if you're doing White Centaur expansion. You can also save some of the guys from your starting army and use them as like guard commander stuff in addition to doing that. There's a lot of different things you can do. But it is definitely, like, we're seeing it a lot in this build. I think the problem here is not flanking. I mean, that may also be a problem, but I think it's just that they're fighting Cynocephalians in a cave. Okay, I mean, that could have actually been a lot worse. This actually, so it's funny, I was just talking about how squad morale penalty, not a big deal. Here, apparently, it mattered. But this actually is like the worst possible thing you can do for squad morale. Like, if you put them in a group of 4, one guy getting killed can trigger the rest to rout. It's better to put them in individual squads. If you put them in a group of 5 or 6, you can be like, okay, let's put them together. The problem with that is you can get flanked. So, anyway. Kind of cool. Cynocephalians would be really nice to get. I think we saw this. Oh, was this a... Uh-oh. Okay, coming up to Baratos. Okay, one of the risks with this build is you don't really have great... Actually, I don't know. We'll have to look at the Baratos units. I really don't know the roster. But this guy is not prepared for that. Yeah, they're going to kill everybody on their way out, which is hilarious. It may be worth it with this build to put one guy on guard commander. Is there a better commander to lead these guys around? I know so little about Baratos. It does not appear so. Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah, so I think that's the trick if you're doing Sacred Expansion to Baratos. It's like, what do? You might want to recruit just Indies and bring them back on like a little shuttle train with an Indie commander. Put them on guard commander or have like a second line. But you probably need something. Like here, he lost another Baratos priest, which is a problem. Because these Sacred Warriors are heavily... Oh my gosh. Heavily reliant on... Now, Fire Shield does not work on elephants, or it doesn't work on trampling, is I think the right way to say it. Which, if you think about it, doesn't make a ton of sense, because if you're trampling somebody, you're getting all up in their shit. Oh, this Baratos priest is running way far forward. Now, I think there's a prophet here as well. So they still win, but the Baratos priests are the weak link in this whole thing. So I think if you know, I mean, not like this is a build you need to playtest a ton, but because it's a bit of a meme, but how you protect your priest is going to be really important with a build like this, where you're using Colossi Warriors for expansion. Tianchi we have coming down and messing with the little froggy fish, the Ichthyids. Yoink. That was a very beautiful flank. Loses 1 warrior of the 5 elements. Acceptable attrition. Oh my goodness. I want to remind you too, you may be watching this and thinking, oh man, I could never do a really fucking cool build like Tianchi has, where he has a few weapons now, but in a couple turns is going to have all the weapons. But I want to remind you, you can. All you have to do is pick this build. I showed it to you in the first episode, and you can have all of all of the fun you want. Oh god. Okay, we've seen Pangea coming over to Lanka. This, I feel, is an appropriate size. He had been kind of doom stacking, but this is really nice. You're going to have some attrition, especially with the build like this, with the Ensuras. Like, but that's part of the game. The Ensuras you slam out a ton of. I gave him pretty high Dominion. He expands again here. I don't like how he's splitting these guys up into 2 squads, though. I do like the idea of mixing chaff in with them. But I think I mean, in this case it works out, but... how many... It didn't lose any Ensuras. Very nice. Lanka's looking like they're in an okay position. We're going to take a look at score graphs as we close this episode out. Abyssia clearing out the long dead here. No losses. Abyssia probably has similar issues to Baratos in protecting the mages. One of the differences, though, is these burning ones are a bit more killy than the Colossi warriors. The more killy your units are, kind of the less time you have to worry about your commanders getting sniped, because you're going to burn through the enemy real quick. The Colossi warriors are basically just relying on fire shield, and I believe the burning ones have a better fire shield as well. And this Abyssia starting army does not stop swinging. He's gotten just so much value out of it. Very cool. Ulm is back in action. Oh. Now this, admittedly, is probably not the greatest spot to use these guys. Because, like, the fact that you're going to one-hit kill Barbs, like, you're still going to one-hit kill them. They do have enough hit points to kind of survive one hit. But this is the exact kind of engagement I would be really careful about using these dudes in. Because really, their extreme killiness is completely wasted here. Like, versus shielded units don't do a ton of damage, right? But they have shields, which gives them, like, effectively higher defense. You can kill them through the shield. The Barbs, you're going to one-hit kill them anyway with a two-handed weapon. And we have lower attack density because of larger. It's just not good here. But he takes it, but at grievous cost. So that's a little unfortunate. It's a little unfortunate. He's got a halfway in and a wind spire here. That'll be a nice little boost in the pants for him, though. He gets guys he can recruit in the mountains. I think he can get some here. It looks like he's getting some. Steel Warriors. I forget what it is you can get. But I think you have mountain and forest recruit troops, which would be good to help with expansion early. A lava lake. Yeah. Yeah. I'm worried for Ulm because this build, I have no idea exactly how to expand with it. But what I do know is that this build will somewhat require that you have a critical mass of these warriors to chop up everybody. Like, and probably mixed in with a decent amount of chaff. And, you know, it's going to be hard to do that because I've burnt his scales to the ground to pay for this. But, do the best we can, right? And I think that brings us to the end of this episode. We've done Hinnom, right? Yeah. We have done Hinnom. That brings us to the end of this episode. God, my dog has been sitting in here farting all day. Been ridiculous. Did we watch that? Killing the Crystal Amazons? Wait, did Grippa not move again? I don't think we watch his column. What? Okay, here we go. He kills these slingers, there's nothing to watch. Kills these Crystal Amazons with a pile of light infantry. Grippa has doomstacked and apparently didn't move his troops out? I don't know what the fuck he's doing. Grippa! Have you become possessed by Ball and Stalin? What is happening? Right, so Hinnom doing completely sane, normal, and reasonable things. Meanwhile, Grippa, what the fuck are you doing, my dude? You got, like, easy indies around you. Jesus Christ, my dude. There is, though, a chance that Grippa can completely make up for all these sins. Just once he starts making Sultan and the other dudes. This build actually is going to be kind of sick. I think. It could be. Depending on a ton of different things. Lanka. The longest line of troops you've ever seen. Oh, Cloud Mages. Truly the bane of all expansion parties. Oh my god, it's a massacre. It's an actual massacre. Doesn't lose a single Jaguar warrior. It looks like he's getting another expansion party ready to go. And that brings us back to Hinnom. Alright, everyone shame Grippa the next time you see him. And with that, I'll see you in the next episode. Oh, we're going to look at score graphs real quick. We'll look at score graphs at the first thing in next episode. Well, no. At the end of next episode. Because next episode is the current turn, and I only got one turn to cover, and I'm about to record it. So see you then!